Good morning, everyone. Happy Saturday. It's Brenda here, and I am going to start the day with a sketch with you. Now, if you have your paper, you can just sketch right along with me. And if you do create something, I love to see it in the comments of this video. So I'm going to make sure that we're showing up well this morning, and then I'll show you what paper I chose. Yep, it looks like I am on live. Okay, good. Now I'll be able to see any comments that you leave. Okay, so today I chose to work with Heartfelt Noteworthy. Heartfelt Noteworthy is the paper that you can purchase that you can actually add to your cart free with a $150 order. If you haven't done it yet and you're really thinking about it, I would do it. Creative Memories extended this special through tomorrow night, Sunday night at 11:59 p.m. Central Time. I love this paper. I can't get enough of it, and I'm being so careful with it because it's so beautiful. So I want to show you, first we have stickers that we can use, and then plum alphabets, and then this alphabet is a mint color, more like an island water, but a little bit lighter than that. So I'll be using those today, and then let's take a look at the paper. I have one sheet of each here for you to see. So we've got these lovely blue hearts that are kind of gradient on the inside, and the back is a blue. And then we've got this gorgeous stained glass piece. I love this. And then the back is an island water diamond shape. And then we have pink with dots, and this is pink raspberry, and then it's got a little bit of the island water in the background as a gradient. And then we have just a nice tweed on the back, and then a white with filled with splatters of all the colors, I love this kind of sheet. It makes just really a nice background for things. And then we've got a canary starburst, and oh, look at this dark sea green, and then coffee stains on the background, and then a plum sheet of hearts with gradients, and then a chevron on the back in a light blue. And that blue is called Songbird Blue. Now, I don't know, those sound like new colors to me, but I'm not sure. And then we have a pack of designer mats that comes in it. So you have all kinds of different mats in different colors that you can use. And the back is just a plain sheet. So if you don't want to use the mat, you can use the plain sheet in all the colors that are in the packet, okay? All right, we're gonna move that out of the way. Good morning, everyone. Hi, Beth. So today I chose to do this picture. And that was our last day in Mexico. I love the color of the water. I love the color in my husband's shirt. It just really goes well with this sketch, I think. And here is the sketch. I want to talk to you about sketches for a minute. And there's a reason that I started with this simpler sketch. This is a Creative Memories sketch. And I started with something simpler because I want to teach you how to use a sketch. I know many of you probably go on Pinterest or Google or wherever you go to find sketches. And I want to show you how to use them effectively because you need to know how to read them if the dimensions aren't there, and how you can actually put this together instead of maybe passing it by completely. So here is the sketch, and this should have a line right here for the square of the sketch. And then we've got 1, 2, 3 blocks this way, and we know that this is 12 inches. So 3 divided by 12 is 4. So this is going to be 4 inches high. But we've got 4 over here. So we're leaving that, we're maintaining that 4 inches high, but dividing 4 into 12, which makes it 3. So all of these are going to be, this will be 3 by 4, 3 by 4, and then this will be 4 by 3 because we go with the tallest measurement first on this one. So, oh, nope, 3 by 4, 3 by 4. The width first. Let's keep you in track. So now what we have left here, if this is 4 inches and this is 4 inches, then the area left open is 8 inches, correct? But here, so we've got 8 inches right here. But right here we have 3, 3, and 3. So this is going to be a 9-inch opening over here. Once you figure out your sketch, you are good to go. You don't have to worry about anything else. I'm going to assume that this is a 4 by 6 picture, and we're going to put a 4 1/4 by 6 1/4 mat, but we're going to go a 1/2 inch on this one. So this is going to be 4 3/4 by 6 3/4. You never thought you'd have to use fractions again, but you do in scrapbooking, and it really helps a lot. So now that we know how to read this sketch, let's go ahead and pick some papers and put it together. I haven't picked my papers at all. I thought it was a really good thing to pick them with you so that you could see how I go about choosing them. Now, where did I set my photo? Here it is. We want to get something that matches this green shirt and this blue water. Luckily, I'm wearing black, so it's going to work out well. I really like this right here with this photo, right? But we've got 3 dark pieces and 2 light pieces. We've got an open space here, and we're going to see if we use that. So we're going to need 3 3 by 4s and then 2 3 by 4s. So we've got to pick out some more paper. This would, well, let's flip our paper over, the whole kit and caboodle. My friends, this matches well. I don't even have to think twice about that. So we can use that paper as well. And then, do I want to have one in the corner or do I want to leave it white? I like to finish a page off. You can do what you'd like to do in that corner. I really like the addition of pink, but I'm going to wait until I have these cut and down before I decide on that last sheet, because I also might be able to go into the matte pack, which I set aside over here, and choose some colors from here. We have this lovely dark sea green. I could put one of these cards in the corner. I could use the back. We've got this island water. I could use one of the cards again, or we could use the back. Oh, that back is really nice. Okay. And so now that you've heard my thought process a little bit and what we're going to do, we need to cut the 3x4 pieces. So do I want to use this dark or the light? I think I'm going to use the dark. And so I want 3 of those. I need 3 3x4s, but in order to save my paper, I'm going to cut it only 3 inches wide and then 12-inch lengths and cut them into 3 3x4s. I think most of you understand that. This is really hard for me to give up this sheet of paper. Oh. See, I said I'm gonna have to place another order to get all of the paper that I want. Or, you know, see, I said want. I said all the paper that I want. I didn't say need, I said want, because it truly is a want. This is pretty paper. And it's not going to be available any other time. So you want to get it now. There we have the 3 3x4s. Let me catch up on the chat here for a minute. Oh, Kimberly, you're here. Jen, Dawn, Wandita, good morning. Kimmy, Shelly, Adrian. Oh, I'm so glad you all joined me. Now I need 2 of this color. I think sometimes I just work without thinking and I just start yapping, and then we might not get what we need. So I'll try not to do that this morning. Yes, Adrian, 8 a.m. is early your time. Hi, Brenda. Hi, Adeline. Oh, you're working on the poolside collection today. Ooh, that one's special to me since I designed the playbook. I hope you like it. Alrighty. Now I'm going to pull out my white piece of paper. And I'm not going to splatter yet. I could splatter now, but I'm not sure where I want it to go once I have these on. So I'm going to go ahead and put these on first. And I'm using my jumbo tape runner with repositionable. I hope that you have one of these. They'll be available again in November. And be sure to grab one when they're available. I have a little bit of arthritis in both my hands, my right hand especially, and it has really helped. Oh my goodness, look at that back sheet. Oh. Yep, I'm all over this paper. This is a good one. I'm going to have to move this one down a little bit because it's not quite straight. And that's okay. That's why we have repositionable that turns into permanent. That's what I love about it. So then I'll just cut that little extra off. So now we're going to do another dark one. I can put this sketch right up here for you. Let's catch up on the chat while I'm doing it. We have got Annalise. Hi, Annalise. I know you'll finish. Lori. Oh, have fun at your crop. Debbie. Kelly. I am in Minnesota. Hi, Brenda. Oh, Adeline, you're going to follow the poolside to a T. That makes me happy. That means I did my job. I know, Beth. I love mine too. I love my runner. Oh, it's 7 o'clock, Debbie? Oh, you poor girl. I'm so thankful that you joined me. Now I'm going to go ahead. Well, I wanted to start at 9, because 9 is a good time for people before they get going for the day. Or if you're at 7 or 8, you can do a little scrapbooking to start your day. What a great thing. I love scrapbooking right away in the morning. Now, this should line up with this corner, but if it doesn't, I'm okay with that because I want to show you what you can do. It doesn't. All right, the sketch shows a border punch. I may use one, I may not. This one's got to go over just a little bit. When you line up squares and rectangles and all those things, you really got to watch your edge. Okay, there we go. We have got that paper on there. What do you think so far? I love it. That's going to be great with that picture. Down there in that corner, I was looking at this sheet and I was looking at this sheet. These are 3x4s, so I could just cut that. Oh, I wish that we were going the other way. I'd put my someone special there. I like that little pop of purple color in there, but then this matches the paper. I might want journaling. So what I'm gonna do, oh, what fun. I bet you I could cut that down to 3x4. Well, let's see. 3. And it's just gonna fit on the 4. So I'll keep that one in mind. All right, I'm gonna set these aside and I'm gonna wait until my picture's on, until I do anything. Now, one thing that I did was grab my stencil from Pink and Main. I love this stencil because it has 4 stencils on it. So look for, if you are looking for a stencil like this, look for the Pink and Main stencil. You can also match your stencil according to this. This would be easy to do because we can just turn the squares to make diamonds. But I want to tell you something that I do before I ever stencil on the page. And some of you might wonder, how am I going to put ink on the page? What I do is I get a scrap piece of paper, and I'm using Lagoon ink from Close to My Heart. You're going to ink up your brush and then tap it off. And I'll show you what happens if you don't tap it off. So now I'm going to start in a circular motion before I even set my brush on the stencil. And I get that nice light Lagoon diamond because I turned my stencil this way. Now I can set this on my page and see what I think of it. And I think it's just lovely. Just lovely. So I'm going to put a little bit of stencil right here and then maybe off the page. I don't want to go anywhere. Let's see. What are some other colors you can use? Anything that matches your paper, basically, but be smart about pouncing it off because that's where your biggest ink problem comes in. Now I started to circle before I even touched the paper. And I've got a little bit of stenciling right there. And now I'm gonna go off the side over here. And I'm just holding my stencil in place. There's plenty of places you can buy stencil tape. You can get it from scrapbook.com. You can get it at Michael's. Michael's carries scrapbook tape now. So I'm gonna leave it at that for right now. To wash your stencil, simply go to the sink and rinse it off. That's all. That's all you need to do. If you want to wash it right at your desk, you can use a wet wipe and a microfiber towel. That'll do it. Okay, I do want to splatter a little bit on this page. So I'm going to set, not the stencil. Let's see, I'm going to catch up again, otherwise I get lost. Well, hi Suzanne from Canada. That's so nice that you joined me. Do I normally do this on Saturday mornings? Nope, I'm just doing it for the next 3. I pick different times all the time. So for the next 3 times, I'll be in at 9 o'clock in the morning. Yes, Shelly, a lot of people have stencil issues if they don't pounce it off. And let me show you what happens. You ink it up and you end up with that. So by pouncing it off, you get that extra ink off and your ink is going to flow nice and smooth. Okay? So I'm glad I showed you the pouncing a little bit. Okay, I'm going to use this piece of paper to protect my other paper. Lots of people I know don't even protect their paper. They just go ahead and splatter, not mattering where it is. And you can do that too. Now, what I want to do is show you right here on this corner. So look on my mat. I'm going to put a little bit of ink, just a little bit. And then I'm going to spritz it with water to dilute it a little bit. Okay? And then I can swish it around. And when I go to splatter, it's going to be a nice light color. Can you see that up there? Bring it a little closer. See, it's going to be the matching color then when I've sprayed it off with water. It's such a good technique. Okay, I need to get some more paper now because I got that one all wet. So, thanks to my girls, and truly it is thanks to my girls, I have a little scrap bin under my desk that I use. Before I just threw scraps away because, you know, paper, there gets to be a lot of paper. But I have a scrap bin, and so I can pull out of there. Be proud of me for that. Okay, I'm going to splatter right around where I stenciled. See how that adds just that little bit of something? And then I'm going to splatter right around here. I'm just using my finger because I'm tapping it lightly. I'm not tapping it hard, and I'm not going all over the place. I'm just adding a little bit of splatter here and there because I like it. The other thing I'm going to do is go down here. I know, Jen, everybody loves scraps, and when you design workshops, it can sometimes get to a point where you just have too many scraps, too much paper. But I use them now. So there. I'm going to put a little down here in case we don't cover this. I kind of like the idea of this being here if it's going to be plain white. Oh, there we got some big drops. So you'll get to see what that looks like. Okay. So now I've done the messy part. All you have to do with your brush is spray it off. You notice that I used a very small brush. I just grabbed one out of my container, but I keep a lot of small, tiny brushes so that I can do this kind of splattering. Okay? So when you go to the dollar store, and I'm just going to use my microfiber cloth and wipe that right off the craft mat, because then this goes in the wash once a week. Comes out great and clean. Okay. So when you go to the dollar store, just pick up a set of brushes that has a tiny little brush. Now, didn't that turn out fun? Never know, I may use a sticker there or cut something out of one of those cards. All right, so I've got the picture now. I like the splatter around it. And I think I'm going to put it up a little bit because I want to be able to use letters down here, those island water letters. Now, to map this photo, there's a couple of things that I can do. I can go ahead and cut this down to 3 3/4 by 5 1/2. I don't want to cut 1/4 inch off there, I don't think. I could, but then I could use one of these mats that I might not use for something else. And how do you pick what you're not going to use? Could use that one. Could use that one. I also took out this, some shimmer paper. I took it out, and we won't be using purple. I took it out in aquamarine and lagoon. So I've got those out and ready to go as well. So let's start with this. I am going to cut 1/4 inch off. And for that, I need my photo trimmer, and I hope you all have this new photo trimmer. It is so good. And I'm going to cut this down to 3 3/4. Doesn't cut too much of me off. Maybe I'm going to cut it at 3 7/8. That's better. By 5 7/8. So now, the 1/8 mark, if you look at your trimmer, I gotta go where there's no glare. If you look at your trimmer, you have a 2 and a 3. So let's look at this for a minute, okay? So you can figure out those 1/8 marks. You've got the 2 to the 3. In between, you have smaller marks. The longest mark is the 1/2 inch. The second longest mark are 1/4 inches. So 2 1/4, 2 1/2, 2 3/4. The next to longest, which is, you know, shorter than the 4th, is the 1/8. And then in between the 1/8s, or around the 1/8s on either side, is the 16th. So someday I'll take a picture of this and I'll write that all down for you so that you have that. And did you see how nicely the photo trimmer cut a photo? So nice. Now I'm going to cut this one off here. I need to pull out my arm so that we're 6 inches. Let's go. Shelly, you're proud of me for a lot of things. I know this story. I did start saving because the girls said they'd come to my craft room and take them out of the garbage. So I did start saving, and it has been helping me. And I'm just going to go ahead and use this since I've got another set coming. Oh, I'm so glad I have another set coming. So I'm going to start with this, but you see how that's got some darker green in it, that dark sea green? I don't even think the lagoon is going to match enough for me. That's not going to be what I want. So I'm going to go back to the paper and pick out, I have to find the paper first, some of that dark sea green for the back of this. Because I could get dark sea green cardstock too. Why don't I do that so you can see? I keep my paper in all those simple sleeves in a pod, of course. And when I open a package, I put the label. You can peel the label right off the package of paper, and it makes it nice and easy to peel it off and put it on one of those simple sleeves. And then I have it in the pod, and I can just pull a sheet out when I need it. Okay, because this was 6 and I want to go a 1/2 inch above, I'm gonna cut this at 6 1/2. And 4 1/2. And these extra pieces, Shelly, are going right in the bin, in my scrap bin. How about that? Okay, there's some questions here. Adeline, you said that you just purchased it. Listen to Kimberly. It is the best thing in the world. You've always used your 12-inch trimmer for photos. You know what, Tina? I would really suggest the photo trimmer. The photos tend to dull the blade and the cutting mat a little bit. That's what I found. And when I started using the photo trimmer, it just worked out a lot better. Yes, I could gut, Nicole. I thought of that too. You miss getting my scraps? What's my minimum size requirement? Oh, I don't know. There is a requirement. I think it just depends upon how I'm feeling that day. Okay. Nicole had a brilliant idea of gutting this out, so let's gut. I am always open for suggestions. Oh, I bent it a little bit. So I want to leave a 1/2 inch, and this was 4 by 6, so I'm gonna gut at 5 inches, so a 1/2 inch. This is where it starts to get a little more. I'll do 3/4 of an inch. That'll make it a little bit easier for you to see and for me to do. And look at those words are going to be, I'm going to use this side for gutting. And if you've never gutted before, you need to take my classes because I teach this all the time. I'm using the white marks on the side of my trimmer for gutting. And it works so nicely to get that out there. And thank goodness Nicole is here this morning because, oh my goodness. Oh, I need to go a little less on that or I'll cut into there. So I'm going to bring this one just a little less. Yeah, now I won't. It might be too early for even me. Okay, now what I did was cut that out. Thank you, Nicole. I have this phrase. I might even use it on this page. You never know. And I've got just a little bit right here that I need to cut off. I got these really pretty scissors from someone and I love them. They're really pretty to use and they're nice and sharp. And now I have this. Okay, let's look at. Use the Adeline, use the side little thing right here. And someday I'll do a demonstration with the bigger gut so that you can see how that looks. Maybe I'll make that, I'll try to remember to do that next week. So I'm going to put this on here because this is a thinner piece of paper and this will give me a little more weight to get the picture on straight. And yep, I'm a tape user. I like everything to be firm on the sides so it doesn't pucker, and so I use a lot of tape. And that's just a little crooked. Little enough that I might not have even noticed, but I know. So, what are you all doing on this fine Saturday? It's rainy here, so this is probably where I'm going to stay all day and look at just that little bit of, and I'm gonna get the white tape runner out for the photo. Now I want to tell you about this photo spot. I'm using a 4x6 just like in the recipe, okay, just like in the sketch. However, you can use 3x4s. You could use 6 3x4s in here and fill up your page with photos if you wanted to. It's all up to you. You could use another photo down here. And so it's all up to you how you use your space. I love 1 photo pages. They're my favorite. And I do them a lot. I might add another little photo, but I like 1 photo pages, and then my supporting page is usually filled with photos or has more photos. But I like the design to start on the 1 page. Yes, Deborah, that's right. You were going to the movies today. Hi, Vicki. Oh, it's been a long time. Oh, it's a heat warning. Oh. Yes, I don't see why you can't cut it with paper. I wouldn't do it all the time through cardstock or anything, but through this light paper, I don't see why not. I thought I was looking at a line over here from the cutting mat, but it turns out I'm looking at white paper. So, I'm still gonna take this off. And this is me being fussy. And then this one needs to turn down a little bit, I noticed. Well, it's a picture of me and my husband. I'm being fussy about our memories. So someday when I'm 92 and I'm looking at these, I don't have to look at it and say, oh, I was such a crooked scrapbooker. Okay, so now we've got that done. Before I actually adhere this down, I want to think about what I'm going to do with the rest of the page. And so I have these little images right here, and I have the that memories in the making, which is really fun. I could fussy cut around that and use that. And my stickers are here. Here they are. I would need a title down here. And I would use the Island Water, kind of like a mint color. And then I've got these and these borders. So I don't really need to cut a border punch if I don't want one. And I'm gonna take a look and see what this would look like on there. I'm gonna peel that right off. And because remember, I'm trying to not use up so much of this because I want it. See how that's gonna cover that little area right there? I don't want to put it down yet because I want to figure out what I'm going to do. So I'm going to set it on my craft mat. That will keep the adhesive. So if you have a craft mat like this, be sure to use it for things like that. Now I have balloons and all kinds of things in these colors. Oh, Bliss, that's a good one. Snapshots, I always like that on my pages. Creating memories, feeling alive. Boy, I never wanted to come home from that trip, I gotta tell you. That was nice. All right, I gotta see where I put the rest of this because there is a lighter. Oh, it's this one right here. Okay, I'm gonna use that right there. So I wouldn't have needed to splatter there, but guess what? It's splattered in case I did. Then of course, if you have the two trimmers, you need the trimmer bag, am I right? Those of you that have the trimmer bag, it is so nice for carrying to crops. Now, if you don't know how to line up your blade so that it cuts perfectly, I want you to pull down this little clear, here I need to get in the camera, this little clear guide that's at the top, it's stuck under the bottom, and it will, you can run it down there and see, oh, I'm gonna cut right on it. So there you go. And we'll do the same thing on this side. I need to move it over just a little bit. And that's cutting right on it. And then when you cut it, pushes it right back up. Now, there's also guides on your trimmer right here on that end of that housing and that end of the housing and on the bottom. So if you are doing a 12 by 12 sheet, you can easily pull out the bottom guide and the top guide in order to make sure you have it straight. The cutting line is this first line, but that's not always enough if you've got a 12 by 12 sheet on there of strips or something that you want to cut and get a good solid straight cut. And so there you go. And that's just a little bit, even though it was 3 inches, we would have to move all of that down. So then what is most likely going on here is my paper is like a 1/16 of an inch bigger than all my sheets because this lines up here perfectly, but it's short on the bottom as well. So guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna leave it, I'm gonna bring it right to the bottom because that border is going up here, remember? So I don't have to worry about that. So let's do that, and then let's look at what else we'll do. I'm gonna bring it right to the bottom corner. A little more adhesive there. And now there's a couple of things here I could do as well. I could move this over, I could leave it, I could completely not care. Because that, you know, I've done that. And my tweezers. But let's see what happens. I want to give you, if it were me, I would have just left it. But I want to give you ideas of what to do should that happen to you. Now I'm pulling these up. Thank goodness for repositionable tape, right? I feel like I pulled a lot of tape up on that one. And now there's a little line. That's almost a nice little line in there. I almost like that a lot. Well, I do like it a lot. And then I'm going to take this one off. We never waste the paper. We pull it off with repositionable tape and use it again. There's no need to cut another one. So now what I've got here is about truly a 1/16 of an inch. So I'm gonna take that to my trimmer. Knowing that going from one dot line to the next is 1/8 of an inch, I'm gonna land about right in between those two dotted lines to get my 1/16 of an inch. And let's see if I take enough. Ah, I did. But I mushed my paper in the end. So I need to, this is straight, that is not. I have a little bit of an inconsistency at the top. Now I no longer do. This will cut. What I love about our trimmer is it cuts the thinnest of strips off a piece of paper. So there we go. We didn't hurt anything by doing any of that. And now it's all lined up perfectly. Like I said, when you do squares or rectangles, there sometimes has to be a little finagling in there. And that's okay. So I'm gonna put this border down now. Pick that up off my craft mat. And I'm going to put the top edge of the border on above. It'll be right above. Oh, it can't be right above because then it shows white through. So I need it to be at the top. Right at the top of the paper. Now, isn't that just a pretty little addition? I already used the other one. Otherwise, what I think I would have done is use the other one and put it upside down to make a double scallop. But, you know, there's plenty of other things you can use too. You can use paper. You can use a thin strip of paper to put above there. We wouldn't want the dark sea green, but we could use this one, and let's cut 1/8 of an inch. Remember I said 1/8 of an inch is that second line. I'm going to hold it tighter this time so that I get that. And I have this really little piece of paper. And let's see what this looks like. And if it isn't something I like, it doesn't matter because it was only 1/8 of an inch of paper. And it doesn't really matter on the page, so I'm not going to bother with it. Okay, and I've only, this one's going in the garbage, girls. Right here, it didn't matter to me, Jen, what if I covered the splatter. I splattered so it would be there in case I needed it, but it's okay with me that I covered it. And I can always splatter a little around there if I want. Oh, everybody loves the trimmer bag. Good. I need to catch up. You're gonna weed the gardens. Oh yes, definitely go to Unclaimed Freight. It's a good store. Oh, you were out of the country. You were on holiday, Vicki. No, Adrian, I've just been doing it a long time. Yes, I think our memories deserve fussiness. This is my husband. I want a nice page, like I said, when I'm 92. This is a beautiful collection, Maria, and if you can get that $150 order in so you can get it, I really suggest it. Oh, thank you, Vicki. Brenda loves her bag. Deborah says yes. I got the stencil, Susan, at Pink and Main. If you look at their website, you'll find it. Well, Brenda, you know one thing about cutting those tiny strips? Let me get my trimmer out, because I want to share this with you. When you put a paper in there, be sure to hold on to the guide thing, or the outside of it. There's measurements on the sides here too. I forgot to tell you that. There's measurements on the side so you can easily do that gutting. But just hold it real firm in place and it will stay. And if you really can't get it straight and you really want a thin strip, grab some stencil tape and put that over the top. Now, stencil tape will take the print off of Creative Memories paper if you aren't careful, so don't push it on there real hard. Okay? All right, you guys, time to get this embellished. Snapshots, I like that. Now, I'm probably going to use that. In the sketch, we have flowers all over. I'm going to use flowers. I took out my flower bin. I couldn't, if these are ever discontinued, you'll hear crying from Minnesota, because I really like these. And they come with dots. If you ever wondered if they're worth the value, yes. Look at all these dots. So I've got teal dots, and I've got some teal flowers in here. I'm gonna pull out. And with the teal flower, I always like the darker leaf stem. Maybe I'll use because we're in this. I'll have to decide what I decide on that. Then there's little like daisy type flowers and little tiny ones like this. So I want to be able to use flowers. I've got a balloon down here. I'm going to put that flower on the edge. And flowers make everything better, let me tell you. I'm not going to put that above. I'm going to use a large one and put it below. I really like the flower peeking out. And then I could do a larger one on top if I wanted. I can also do these. on top of there. I could add if I wanted. I can stack them. And then to get the little leaves, let's take a look. Oops, I always tear off the bottom. That's going to be hidden, so don't throw your leaf away if you do that. Oh yeah, that's going to be good. The stem just makes it easier if you tear that stem off to tuck it under there. No, Maria, it won't be a collection. I've already asked for a couple people, and it won't be a collection that comes out at all. This is it. Through tomorrow night, this is it. Because, well, it wouldn't be special if we used a special. I would like a leaf there, but I don't want this whole big leaf. So I think I'm going to take that cute little scissors and I'm going to cut this leaf around here. And put it right here. So yeah, I have asked about that as far as do you think it'll come out in the regular collection, because it is, Noteworthy is our paper of the year, and no. So yeah, the flowers are gorgeous. I'm gonna take out some 3D foam squares. I'll put the leaves in later, but I want all of these up on 3D foam squares. I'm still using the thin ones. Let me tell you, if you like the thin 3D foam squares that we came out with the adhesive special, please write to Creative Memories and tell them. I better make sure this is straight, because a product suggestion to get these thin 3D foam squares back would be just awesome. I know a lot of people that want them. 2 inches is too high. One and a quarter is too low. I'm gonna eyeball it. Now, because I'm tucking things under, I'm not going to put adhesive right to the edge. And there we go. Now I can take this flower, and I've got to put it down with tape because it's tucking under. And then I was easily able to do that. But this one I can put 3D foam on. And where I didn't have adhesive holding that down, now I have 3D foam tape holding it down. And then we'll put a 3D foam square here. Who's working today? Who's making a layout? And be sure to show me if you did. Even if it's later, even if it's days from now and you use this sketch. This is a Creative Memories sketch, and I'm just redoing it a little bit. So we have that on there. And we'll get this one. going to tuck this leaf under. Okay, now let's do this one. I loved the ideas of flowers in a triangle like that. And that's why I'm going ahead and doing this kind of to the T of the sketch. Actually, I haven't veered much from the sketch. I've been going right according to it, and it's pretty. The colors in this paper, oh my goodness. I love when we have colors like this, but I also love red, white, and blue whenever we have red, white, and blue in things. And if you saw the announcement for tomorrow with Berry Harvest, we've got some cute paper coming on Monday, plus the secret box. So there's just a lot. So now you saw how I dissected that leaf apart. I'm going to bring it up just a little and bring this to that side. Don't be afraid to cut your embellishments apart, or your stickers or your mat cards or anything. You're going to get a lot more use out of them if you cut them down to what you want versus leaving them in a situation where you may not. Okay. Every picture tells a story. I kind of wanted something in this color. I'm not a fan of great big titles, you know, long titles. I'm going to use small letters. Because this story will be told on the next page, because I have supporting pictures for this. So I will just put this with my letters. And you know, it doesn't matter what your title is. Look at that. That's so nice. Those letters are really nice, you guys. In the plum and the island water, or kind of like a mint color even. I was thinking about taking this heart balloon and adding it down here as well, but putting the top of it, leaving this sticky, but putting the top of it on a 3D foam square so that it sticks up a little bit. And I'm going to bend that heart up just a little and take my anti-sticky tool and put that there so it doesn't fold down on there. And I really, oh, look at, there you go. Perfect. I did feel very lucky to be on this first trip with Creative Memories. That was my first trip with them. And I felt very lucky for the room that I had. I have to pick that up. Yep, it's straight. And I've got to cut this little bit off here, off this bottom. We had a beautiful room, second to the top floor. It was gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous, and that was our view every day. So I really wanted to use snapshots on here. but I want to make sure I keep the flow. No, I'm good with it there. So I keep that flow going and around this way. The eye's always going to be led to what's in the middle of the biggest part of the triangle. So the eye's always going to be there. So when I design for you, you know that I'm always looking at the triangle to make sure that you are getting the right look for your pictures, because I want your pictures, people to open your book and go, wow, to your photos, not the artwork. So I've got these two little hearts. Oh, I like them up there. Those were stickers, and I don't think I'll use anything more, and I don't think I'm going to put anything more on this page except for some of these dots. Now, these dots are fun that are in the flowers. If you haven't bought the flowers, you really should. You get the dark sea green, plus you get the lagoon and island water, and then one set, I hope I'm getting this up there close enough. One set is got little dots on it. I'm kind of waiting for the delay. Okay, no, it gets too fuzzy. There we go. So that's fun. You're almost done, Beth. Yay. Annalise, I knew you'd be working along. Adrian, you like to watch, but you should make it right away. Shelley, you're creating. So far, you've stenciled and splattered and adhered your papers, embellishing now. Dawn, be sure to create and then post it. Yes, everyone needs one of those anti-sticky tools, and that's not the real name of it, but it is, you know, an anti-sticky tool. It might be anti-stick, but not sticky. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and put some of these down. I'm going to try this in the center of these little flowers and see what I think. I'm using those ones that have the little specks on them. You know, we don't carry gems or dots, so when we get something that has it in there, oh my word, I grab. It's quite a value to get all the flowers you get plus all the gems. Now I'd like to grab some of these. I want to use up this page first. There, I like it there. Okay, and on this side, I need another dark sea green. And then I might leave that, unless I put a dark, I'm gonna leave that. Too much can be too much. So, there we go. Saturday morning, I got a page done for my Mexico book, which sadly hasn't had any pages made yet. So I got it. And you can get this done too, so easily. It was a simple sketch, so much fun. And I told you I was done with the gems, but I'm gonna pull out another gem package because they're just too nice. These are Recollections bling stickers. You can find them at Michael's. I think they're all of $2.99 or something. And they put them on sale quite often. And they're iridescent. And they're a super nice package of gems. And that's what I suggest until we carry gems. Because I believe, I'm gonna believe, that we are going to carry gems someday. I don't know this for a fact, so don't go around saying Brenda said we were going to carry gems, because I don't know that. But I'm believing in my heart for them. because I think they add so much to a page. And just putting that little bit of extra, this is what I wanted right there, a little tiny iridescent gem. And then there we have those 3 big triangles, and then this is just a focal point. And if you want to, you can journal here, you can journal here, you can journal here, you can journal around the photo. Don't forget, that's a very important place to journal, and it looks very nice. So I will post this on the page so that you can look back on it and see what I did. But I think it's been just super fun to take this simple sketch and first of all, learn how to read a sketch, and also to just sit down for a Saturday morning for an hour and put a page together. So you guys go create. It's so good for your soul. It's going to do a lot of good for your soul. Have a great day, and thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate it. Bye-bye.